Microeconomic modeling. My name is Assistant Professor Ergin Akalpler. I am going to introduce you today the first lecture of the microeconomics in advanced level. As you know, in microeconomics, we are concentrating on the micro level individuals and firms' activities. Today, we are starting with the micro level modeling and, of course, its extension to the microeconomic application. All microeconomic models rely on three analytic tools: constraint optimization, equilibrium analysis, and comparative statistics. Let's look about the constraint optimization. Constraint optimization problems usually have two parts: the objective function and as a set of constraints. The objective function specifies what the decision maker wants to optimize. For example, a consumer cares about maximizing his satisfaction in any case, in any study, in any application, or in any solution for the problems. The manager cares about, as you know, how to profit maximizing, reducing the cost, and increasing the power of the existing case. The constraints limits placed on the resources available to the agents. For example, the manager budget is $1 million and the consumer income is 3,000. The decision maker can be modeled as optimizing the objective function subject to his various constraints. The consumer has to decide how many utility of the food and the clothing consumed, choose foods F and choose the clothing as a two production. Taking a given is income as an I and the price for the foods as a PF and the price for the clothing as PC. What is the objective function? What is the constraint? What variables exogenous? What variables is endogenous? And write this statement for constraint optimization is going to be questioned in this example. The objective function here will be the maximizing the food and the clothing. The subjective function can be realized as the PF, price of the food, multiplied with the food, plus PC, price of the clothing, and the multiplied with the clothes, which is assumed to be equal or less than income, which is given in this example. The PC is supposed to be endogenous variables and I is the exogenous variables. All this is supposed to be is the statement of these constraint objectives, and optimization will be given as defined. When we are putting this budget constraint on this example, as you see, the PF multiplied with F plus PC multiplied with C is supposed to be equal to the income in the budget constraint or the consumer purchases on the given budget line. When it is tangent to this curve, the indifference curve is satisfied and supposed to be the consumer utilize its optimal bundle in given example. If it is less than, then it is of course not satisfied, and if it is more than, it is then of course not satisfied again. When we are looking to the advertising spots, suppose the manager of beer company wants to decide the firm's advertising spots. The budget is supposed to be again 1 million. The allocation between TV and the radio, and the problem will be the maximizing the TV and radio allocation, and the subject is again to be the budget constraint, price for the TV multiplied with the total amount of the TV which is going to be consumed or bought, the price of the radio multiplied with the radio quantity is supposed to be less or equal to the 1 million euro. The barrels of this PT and PR are the prices of the TV and the radio advertising respectively. The equilibrium is supposed to be is the state that will continue identify as long as the exogenous factors remain unchanged. Let's look up this supply curve on given example. The supply curve is, of course, as it is supposed to be, estimated for the quantity of goods and, of course, the price of the given product. And the demand is equally distributed. When the P and Q intersect each other, it's supposed to be the equilibrium level is satisfied. In this level, we are expecting the market will become into the equilibrium position. The comparative statistics, of course, in the second level of this equation, we are identifying how the graphical explanation is illustrated. The comparative statistics, as you are understanding, is used to examine how a change in exogenous variables will affect the level of the endogenous variable in equation. As you see in the belief given model, the quantity supply is equal to P, A plus 2P, and the quantity demand is A minus 5P, is a simplest example for the comparative statistic. We can use these statistical models for estimating the simplest or complex models in the micro statistics and economics. The coffee beans, as it is given in the former example, is supposed to be bringing to the equilibrium level. If it is expanded, the new supply level is supposed to be enlarged when the price is supposed to be decreased, and of course enlarge the new supply. As you see in the example, it is given the P 2 stars is indicating the price decrease, and Q2 is indicating the new supply level. The consumer choice or the budget constraint is again illustrated on the curve, and it is given as the PFF food plus PC clothing is equal to the disposable income. And it is tangent to the indifference curve will be satisfied. If it is less, then of course it is expected that the income level is supposed to be reduced, as it is given in the model. The limits of microeconomics, when we are looking to the definitions, we are understanding the microeconomics analyzes positive, and of course these can be explained as what happened due to an economic policy, and as a positive economic statement must be able to be tested and proved or disproved in the given model. Government provides more workers by decreasing the minimum wage law can be given to this. The normative analysis is an analysis which is supposed to be, should be done in this model. Then when the minimum wage law is supposed to be reduced, then the benefits of the skilled or least skilled workers will be considered in this case. As you are understanding, normative analysis is supposed to be concentrated on what is should to be, what is to be, or what is going to be in the expected policy, and of course positive analysis is then concentrated on the what has happened, or what is happened in the expected or applied policy in the economy. This was the last lecture or first lecture for the microeconomics that we are going to introduce to you in this lecture. We have done the second lecture in the following.